Hello friends and nature lovers. Welcome to another edition of Nature Drawing Wednesdays with your friends from the Field Centers. If at any point you would like to pause the video so you can follow along at your own pace, please feel free to do so. Today we are going to be drawing Ontario's provincial plant, and that is the Trillium. Now the word Trillium means three, and it's a pretty incredible plant as there's 3 seed pod sections, 3 petals, 3 sepals, and 3 big broad leaves. So we're going to give that a shot and try drawing all of that. So I'm going to start in pencil and I'm going to draw a little circle just very lightly where the seed pods are. And I'm going to come back to that in a little bit, and I'm also going to wind up going over that in marker. Now we're going to do the petals, and from the middle of the seed pod, I want you to do just kind of a jagged edge here. We're going to give our petals a little bit of depth today. So we're going to come in like that and connect to a point. Now for the next one, we're going to go towards the top, and we're going to come around, and we're going to go fairly straight there, and we're going to come back to that point. Now where this comes down, we're going to come down and around and make it look like that leaf is bent. Now for the third petal, we're going to come out and we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to go straight and we're going to come right back from here, and from this corner we're just going to come back like that. Now we're going to give a little extra depth on this front petal here too, and right where our little wavy lines are, we're going to curve around that on the outside to make it look like it has a bit of depth. Now we are going to do the 3 sepals, which are these little green leaves that come here, and I'm just going to go down to a point and come back around. And again, because I want to add a little depth today, for the top one, we're going to come up, we're going to go straight across, and then we're going to come down at the side and bend it like that. Now, I'm going to do the rest of this. I'm going to trace this over actually in marker. That way, when I go to color it, it's going to be good to go. So in the middle section here, I'm just going to do 3 circles to represent the seed pods. And then I'm going to come around the outside of this petal. And you can do this little wavy curl to each of the leaves if you wanted. So on this one here, if you wanted to put one in, you could just join that up like that. Make it look like it curves and curls a bit. We'll do the same on the top. And then I'll join that up like that. And then overlapping here. And sure, let's do the same on this one, just because we can. So I'll curve this down, and then we'll give that just that little bit of definition like that. And we'll get a little bit more detail when we put the color in on the sepals. Okay, and we're going to draw the stem coming down, and we're going to imagine it's coming from right in the middle and coming through. We're going to go down, and then we're going to do the 3 big broad leaves. So we're going to do these nice and easy, but again, we're going to put some depth into them. So pick your starting point, and because these leaves are quite large, we want to make sure to reflect that. Now you'll notice here I've done my little wave, so I'm going to make that look like it's curled just by coming around like that. And then I'm going to find the center point and follow up the shape of the leaf right like that. Now we're going to do 2 on the other side. And so I'm going to come from the middle here, and I'm going to do 1 that goes up. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, if you've got a little bit of wave going on in there, it makes it easy to draw kind of a rounded edge around that to give it that little bit of depth. And then we're going to attach one more coming off here. And same thing. Just like that. And the line all the way through the middle. Now is when we get to have a little bit of fun with coloring. So I'm going to use some watercolor pencil crayons. And very first, I'm just going to erase my pencil marks from the top. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do it in marker either. Whatever works for you. But because I'm going to use a little bit of water in here, I want to make sure to erase my pencil lines. Okay, now I'm going to start in the center with the seed pods. And I'm going to throw just a little bit of yellow into each of those circles and just around it as well. Just add a little bit of color right in the middle. And then the Trillium petals actually have some pretty cool grooves in it. So I'm just going to use a gray watercolor pencil, but you can just use a pencil if you'd like, whatever works for you. So I'm going to go from the middle down towards this point here. And I'm just going to draw a couple light little lines that go with the shape of the petal. And then for these guys, we're going to go up and around to the point from the middle so that we get a little bit of movement. So up and around like that. And then because we're doing a white trillium, which happens to be the white-tailed deer's favorite food, I'm just going to give a little bit of gray shadowing on the fold over there. Now we're going to do the sepals. And so I want to put a line right through the middle. And I'm going to go around the edges. And then I'm just going to color very lightly on the inside, but darken it up right under the petals here. And you can do a bit of veining in there if you want. Like that. So right down the middle, lightly on the edges, color the whole thing in nice and light, and then some veining. Where they connect at the very middle point is where I like to balance that out. Same thing, down the middle, around the edges, and we're going to do that a little darker because it's underneath. And then some veining, and darker towards the middle. And then we're going to do a similar job on these big guys down here, where we follow the stem down, follow the middles up and across, and then we'll outline those as well. You don't have to do the marker here. I just like that little bit of black to help make it pop. Now, the way we have this one designed, we have to think about where light is going to hit the petals. So after outlining them, if we look here on the bottom, these folded sections are underneath. So the light would be hitting the inside a little more. So we're going to go nice and dark with this section on both of those. And then if we think about this top one up here, the light would actually be hitting the curl. So we want that to be a little bit lighter than the inside. So color the whole thing. Nice and quick here. And then last one, and then we will put the veining on the leaf. Now I'm going to use water to blend out this green. So to me, it doesn't matter what direction I'm coloring right now. If you'd like to be a little more particular because you're using pencil crayon, that's totally okay. So we're just about done. And what we need to do now is just put the veining on the inside of these big broad leaves. So just like we did on the sepals, just some nice quick lines. And where they join at the middle, go the opposite direction on the other side. Like that. And again over here. You could put a little light green in here if you wanted to. For the sake of this lesson, I'm just going to go with what we've got going here. And there we have it. Our white trillium. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Feel free to share yours with #PeelConnected on social media. And this is going to be our last session for a little while, so I hope to see you in the fall. Have a wonderful summer.